Outlaw, what's up? Someone somewhere. Kokomo here. What's up in Elkhart? Well, you're about to see. We're going to let some people get in here. Once we get going, we are not going to be highlighting any comments. We're not going to be taking any questions. We're going to reserve that for another stream that we'll be doing later. Okay, guys? So please be aware that, we're not going to be, once we get into this, we're not going to be taking any questions. Okay? So I think famously you'd like to say something maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just trying to bring people awareness to the corruption that's going on in Elkhart County. It's been going on. It's not like people aren't aware of it, but the people that have been looking through the documents and finding different things, finding nefarious documents that haven't been brought to the public involving many characters involved in corruption. It's just better to put it out there than to sit around and beat around the bush. People are still incarcerated. Innocent people are still locked up. And it appears that people are just out here in our community raking us over the coals and taking advantage of us. And those days got to end.
Yeah. Anything you want to add before we get into it here?
Just follow the links if you want to read along. Be a little patient with us. We're not professionals. We're not getting help from the professionals. We have notified the people that need to be notified of our findings. The documents have been forwarded to the Exoneration Committee of Notre Dame, to the attorneys, and I'll leave it at that.
All right, so we're going to start with this. Here a while back, we were doing some test streams on another program. And I don't know if you guys remember. Some of you were probably there, some probably not. But we asked Grok some questions about the corruption in Elkhart County and linking names and incidents and stuff like that. And this is what we come across.
Elkhart County and the city of Elkhart within it, Indiana, has faced significant scrutiny for alleged systemic issues in its criminal justice system, particularly police misconduct, prosecutorial problems, and wrongful convictions, alongside more recent administrative corruption in county offices. The problems are most prominently documented in the ProPublica South Bend Tribune, Accused in Elkhart series starting around 2018, investigations by the Notre Dame Exoneration Justice Clinic, civil lawsuits from exonerees, and local reporting. There is no single overarching corruption ring, like a mafia, but patterns of alleged misconduct, especially in policing and prosecutions from the 1990s onward, have led to multiple exonerations, large settlements, and ongoing lawsuits. Core issues. Police misconduct and wrongful convictions. A major focus has been the Elkhart Police Department (EPD) and its connections to the Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office. Key elements include the Wolverines, a group of mostly white officers in the 1980s and possibly later who allegedly targeted black residents in certain neighborhoods with harassment, bogus arrests, fabricated evidence, coercion, and abuse. They were known internally and viewed by some as engaging in rough treatment. Named officers or associates in reports include detectives like Steve Rizutko, lead investigator in several problematic cases, resigned amid sexual misconduct allegations with informants, including Fondling and Steve Ambrose, plus connections to higher-ups like former Chief Ed Windbigler. Wrongful convictions. Elkhart has had at least 6 known exonerees, a high number for a city of approximately 50,000 with others alleged. Common issues. Fabricated coerced statements, hidden exculpatory evidence, Brady violations, unreliable witnesses, snitches, hypnosis of witnesses without disclosure, and misconduct by officers, prosecutors. Key players in cases not exhaustive. Keith Cooper and Christopher Parrish, 1996 armed robbery shooting convictions unraveled due to police errors, withheld evidence, and Rizutko's involvement. Parrish's conviction overturned. He received a $4.9 million settlement. Cooper received Indiana's first innocence pardon in a record deal to $7 million plus settlement fee. Exonerated after approximately 16 to 17. $11.7 million plus settlement involving the city and officers. Of misconduct against and prosecutor Dwayne Dunn, and others. To the letting of evidence. Misconduct. Dunn spent 12 plus years imprisoned. Reginald conviction dated after 27 years, around 2026, reporting allegations of fabricated statements and withheld evidence. Vicki Becker, longtime chief deputy prosecutor, elected prosecuting attorney since 2016-2017, named as a defendant in multiple wrongful conviction suits. Accused of misconduct, such as presenting contradictory narratives in different trials about the same evidence, e.g., who provided a gun in a 2003 shooting case and involvement in cases with alleged Brady violations. She has defended her office's actions. Other EPD issues: high rates of citizen complaints, supervisors with disciplinary histories, fatal shootings, and a 2019 external study prompted by reporting confirming accountability problems and a trust deficit in the community. Connections: many exonary cases trace back to the same era: officers Wolverines, Rizutko Circle, and prosecutorial decisions. Civil suits by attorneys like Elliot Sloser, Lova, and the Notre Dame Clinic have uncovered patterns through litigation, leading to millions in settlements paid by the city-county taxpayers. One whistleblower suit, e.g., Joy Phillips, alleges retaliation for exposing issues. ## recent county official misconduct 2025-2026. Separate from the police prosecutor issues but involving county government. Christopher Anderson, former Elkhart County Clerk, and Carol Smith, Chief Deputy Clerk, indicted by grand jury in September 2025 for official misconduct Level 6 felony and criminal conversion misdemeanor. They allegedly approved payments to clerk's office supervisors, employees for 80 hours of work when only 72 were worked, a practice going on for years, costing taxpayers. Anderson pleaded guilty to misconduct, conversion merge, dismissed. Smith was convicted by jury. Both sentenced to probation Feb. 2026. Anderson resigned. This was handled by Becker's office grand jury. Some local commentary speculated on political angles, e.g., Republican caucus, elections oversight, but it appears to be straightforward payroll fraud. ## family court allegations. Separate complaints from mothers losing custody, accusing Judge David Bonfiglio and guardian ad litem Mary Rotz of mishandling cases, providing misleading reports, and bias, e.g., favoring fathers with concerning histories. Described as a corrupt system lacking oversight. These are allegations, not proven criminal cases. ## broader context and connections. No unified conspiracy proven, but overlapping personnel, eras, and patterns, especially 1990s policing feeding into prosecutions, have fueled perceptions of a broken system. Large settlements, tens of millions total, strain local resources. Reforms responses. External studies, some leadership changes, e.g., mayor not seeking re-election amid scandals, ongoing lawsuits, and exoneration work. Critics argue accountability remains insufficient. Politics. Elkhart County leans Republican. Figures like commissioners, e.g., Brad Rogers, and the prosecutor's office appear in local discussions, but corruption claims span elected and appointed roles. This is based on public reporting and court records up to 2026. For the latest or specific case documents, check Indiana court databases, My Case, the prosecutor's site, or news outlets like ProPublica, WNDU, WSBT, or IndyStar. Many details come from civil suits and investigations rather than criminal convictions of officials beyond the recent clerk case. If you have a specific name or case, I can dig deeper.
Okay, so this is just one way that you guys
I
can
have a
grab
name. I have a
information.
name. I have a name. I found the name. I'm just
Oh,
joking.
okay.
No.
Now after this did happen, we did ask it to continue and find other lawsuits and whatnot concerning this, and this is where the reading continues. So we'll keep going here.
The Scott Bridge lawsuit, in Tipton County, Indiana, refers to the 2015 federal civil case Heather Mary Christine Donnelly vs. Tipton County Sheriff's Department et al. Case No. 115 CVO 1136, U.S. District Court, Southern District of Indiana. ### Key details of the lawsuit. Plaintiff, Heather Mary Christine Donnelly, also referred to as Christine Donnelly. Filing date, July 20, 2015. Allegations. Donnelly claimed that on July 23, 2013, during and after a routine traffic stop, she was subjected to sexual assault, viewing, touching, and confinement by Tipton County Sheriff's deputies and jail personnel for their sexual gratification. She further alleged a cover-up by higher-ranking officials. Defendants included Scott E. Bridge, a named individual defendant, likely a deputy or officer involved, along with other officers, deputies such as David Campbell, Matthew Deckard, Jeffrey D. Letziner, Curtis Montgomery, John Moses, Travis Rhodes, Steve Cox, the Tipton County Sheriff's Department, Tipton County Jail, and Tipton County itself. The case involved claims of civil rights violations likely under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983 for excessive force, unlawful seizure, or sexual abuse under color of law, along with related state claims. ### Outcome. The parties reached a settlement. The case was dismissed with prejudice in stages. Partial dismissals in May 2016 for most individual defendants, including Scott E. Bridge and entities. Final dismissal for the Sheriff's Department and County on May 25, 2016. Settlement
Alright.
terms including any monetary amount
Stop it,
paid by the
Midwest.
county tax.
Hey, now there's our call out. That's Howard County's area right there. That read into a different case than it jumped ahead of us a little bit on a lot of stuff. So that doesn't have nothing to do. The Bridge case doesn't have nothing to do with the Elkhart County case. But that's good information for you guys to see because it shows a pattern of abuse in the state of Indiana, which this document that we're getting ready to show you is a document from the Supreme Court of Indiana. And what you're going to find in this document is that the Supreme Court of Indiana finds a way to have a tolerance for in this document for abuse of minors, spousal abuse. Also, the Supreme Court of Indiana acknowledges that when a child is raised in this environment and it only knows a certain environment, the Supreme Court of Indiana accepted a doctor's recommendation overturning a decision that had already been made and further victimizing a child that was raised in these circumstances. So the Supreme Court of Indiana has clearly established case law now that shows a tolerance for the behavior that we're going to present to you that is a deputy prosecuting attorney that's been in the prosecutor's office of Elkhart County since the late 1990s. Under Curtis Hill, as you know, a former prosecutor of Elkhart County, he used to be a detective before that. He became the district prosecuting attorney elected in Elkhart County, and then later on was elected to attorney general. And as you know, he had disciplinary issues for touching the derrieres of women or being promiscuous. The rumors were always in Elkhart County, he wasn't called the prosecutor. He was, you know, the promiscuous one in chief. So, as you know, he has a tolerance and a pattern of abuse when it comes to derrieres. So pay attention to what we're going to reveal to you. It's going to be shocking. I'd assume that a lot of you in this community that are leaders don't tolerate this behavior. I'm assuming that we don't tolerate this behavior. I'm assuming that if you're in these family and children courts and you've been accused of some egregious things, and these guardian ad litems have written nefarious and false allegations against you and use these same doctors against you, that your ears and your eyes are going to open up to what's going on before us, because this is the tolerance and the level of tolerance that the Indiana Supreme Court elected to put in a decision it made in a dissolution of marriage that was very ugly, and it involves someone that's a prosecutor in your community. This is also a prosecutor that serves in the circuit court. His attorney is the judge, a circuit court judge, currently, and he is currently presenting high-profile cases in this courtroom in a county where we have systemic corruption and many wrongful convictions. Let her rip, Midwest.
Now, before we get to that, I'm gonna play a short video that is about why a lot of this is coming.
At least 9 former Elkhart police have been implicated as
Volume's a little messy.
Elkhart a few times.
Chris Seymour took
Is that
over
better?
as chief in 2020 under similar circumstances as Ivory, tasked with changing the culture of the Elkhart Police Department.
Now I looked at it as an opportunity to steer the boat in not so calm waters.
Seymour became chief after EPD faced a 97-page report from the Police Executive Research Forum, commissioned as a response to this video. 2 Elkhart police officers beating a man handcuffed to a chair. The incident led to then Elkhart Police Chief Ed Windbigler to resign. Windbigler, one of the alleged members of the Wolverines, identified by J.J. Ivory, a group Seymour says he never encountered in more than 2 decades with the Elkhart Police Department.
Had you ever heard of that?
Your thing, so we'll stay away from that one.
But Chief Seymour didn't appreciate the line of questioning regarding the Wolverines.
Do we want to keep, digging things up, or do we want to acknowledge that maybe mistakes were made or procedures were not in place to effectively do things, and now we have them in place and we're doing things what we think is right?
He made it clear past misconduct isn't something focused on.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Well, and just to clarify, I mean, you're saying it's past, but Cooper was in jail up until.
I don't want to live in the past. Okay, I can't answer for what people did 30 plus years ago.
I know somebody can answer for what people did 30 years ago.
Well,
That's Michael
that
Cristofino.
looks.
That's Donald E. Pitzer, Vicki Elaine Becker, Curtis T. Hill, Mark Daggy, Mr. Sigsby, Mr. Rizzuto, Mr. Conway, amongst many, many more to come.
Okay, so with this next document, you guys, what I'm going to do is we used a bit of AI to go over this document and summarize it. So I'm going to read the summary, and every time we come up to one of these little blue numbers right here, I will click on it, and it will refer to a part in the actual document, which is in the description of what they're talking about here. Okay, so I'm going to start out here. Key findings from the Elkhart County family law case. Famously, you want to tell them who this is involving again?
After reading this document and seeing it online as initials, JP, or DP versus DAP, I was kind of confused. So we read the documents, got the cause numbers, and cross-referenced it, and you can go take a look for yourself. Donald E. Pitzer. Apparently another government employee that's Homeland Security should probably be aware of her behavior. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's keep going.
All right, so here we go. Family practices and boundaries. Co-bathing. Now this is what AI got out of this entire thing. The first thing that AI wanted to focus on was a co-bathing. During the marriage, the family, mother, father, and child regularly bathe together as a way to relax. Right there it is, right in the document. This practice continued until shortly before the parents separated. The court found no evidence of sexual intent or intimate conduct during these baths. However, it raised concerns about the appropriateness of such practices as the child grew older, especially regarding parent-child boundaries. There's that. Sleeping arrangements. The child often slept in the marital bed with both parents. Sometimes the father slept without bedclothes. And right there. In their own words, guys. Remember, this is an actual document. The court noted this as another example of poor boundaries, though there was no finding of sexual abuse. Parental backgrounds and training. Highly trained individuals. Both parents were described as highly intelligent and accomplished. The mother had advanced academic and professional credentials, including training in self-defense, terrorism response, and weapons of mass destruction. Right there, in their own words, guys. The father was a deputy prosecutor with years of legal experience. The court recognized these strengths, but noted that high achievement does not guarantee effective co-parenting, especially in high conflict situations. You guys can pause after the video's over and read all this.
You can read the
Next,
entire
the smack
appendix.
butt game. Yeah, you can read the link is in the description, guys, to this PDF right on the website. The smack butt game and related concerns. Game details. The father allowed the child, which this child is a female, by the way. The father allowed the child to spank him on his bare buttocks as part of a game which also included smacking his arm. I'm just going to click on these little annotations here, and you guys can see it in the document. It'll be in the document itself, too. The court found no sexual intent in this behavior, but described it as another example of poor boundaries. These actions, along with co-bathing and shared sleeping, led to investigations and scrutiny, though ultimately the court found no abuse occurred. Investigations and outcomes. Allegations and investigations. Allegations of child abuse, physical and sexual, were made against the father, leading to investigations by the Department of Child Services, DCS, and the Child in Need of Services, CHIN's case. After psychological evaluations and further investigation, the allegations against the father were unsubstantiated. The mother was found to have contributed to alienating the child from the father. The court concluded that both parents had exercised poor boundaries, but did not find evidence of sexual abuse. Both parents were granted joint legal and physical custody with a schedule for alternating weeks. Lessons and implications. Boundaries matter. Even well-intentioned family routines can be questioned in legal settings if they blur parent-child boundaries. High intelligence or specialized training does not substitute for appropriate parenting practices. The court emphasized the importance of clear boundaries and communication for the child's well-being. The major points that AI wanted to point out was the co-bathing. They were highly trained, the smack butt game, the sleeping arrangements, and the allegations that were made.
All right. You have
All in this
screenshots,
document
correct?
over here.
You have screenshots?
Yes, but in order to do that, let me stop sharing real quick. Let me
Okay.
get to them. Okay. While we're doing this, while I'm
Have
finding
you
them,
seen or read
maybe
the
ought to,
thumbnail? There's a thumbnail on this video. in that thumbnail, the court made note that this prosecuting attorney had made statements before that he had the ability to sway a decision in this county. Noted that he had made these comments before. We're looking for the comments before. I look at words. It says before. That means beforehand, before this incident. There's another one, and we're looking for it. But
Hold on.
I hope they're not swaying other decisions.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is go back here and now we got to present again. Share screen. Oh, we don't really need audio of this, but we'll go down here. Okay, bring it up. Anybody need me to read this? I'll go ahead and read it. In March of 2015, while at work, husband was advised of the allegations of child molest and that an investigation was being had by the Indiana State Police. A CFAC interview of H was performed in March of 2015, which revealed that H had smacked or spanked husband on his bare buttocks at husband's direction. Husband testified that the slapping was part of a game which included smacking his arm, and that DA thought that the behavior was funny and that no sexual intent was involved. The CHINS, or Child in Need of Services filing, also indicated wife acknowledged witnessing improper touching of H by husband. Then it goes on to say that this doctor, husband has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but credibly testified that he works with a physician and takes prescribed medication. Husband's diagnosis does not appear to affect his employment or his ability to parent in any way. This court is convinced that husband's diagnosis does not impair his ability to parent or co-parent H, provided he continues regular treatment with his physician and strictly follows instructions relative to medications and treatment. Wife
Sounds like a perfect child and parent services case. Sounds like a perfect candidate for the United Methodist Church of Basher Homes, doesn't it? It sounds like a textbook case of the guardian ad litem monopolizing this community. It sounds like a textbook case of Judge Bonfiglio in his own testimony that he oversaw every single child and family service case. But Dr. Berardi thinks that because a child is raised in the environment that it was raised in, that he can reverse the decision and shame the victim of the circumstances to save the career of the shoulders they rub. And they used our Supreme Court to do it, all the way up to the Indiana Supreme Court, to minimize, in a ruling, a tolerance level that they gave abuse in this state. And you can thank an Elkhart County attorney for it. It's case law now.
Now they go on to take. For some reason, they're not able to see the screenshots. I'm reading from some screenshots, guys, and we'll post them after the video is done. I apologize for them not showing up. But it's also in the documents. It's in that case filing. So if you guys want to see what we're talking about right here when I'm reading these that you can't see, they're in the document.
They're in
It
the
goes on to
link.
say wife. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Wife went to college in Kentucky, on an academic scholarship where she started school around the age of 16. Wife also studied at Notre Dame and while in Samoa, obtained numerous certificates for training in terrorism response and weapons of mass destruction. Wife's resume, which is Exhibit 81, is to say the least highly impressive. In summary, while slight in size and appearance, this court believes that Wife is a strong individual with advanced self-defense instruction. Testimony from Diana Wheatley established that Wife prided herself in the ability to defend herself against a possible would-be attacker by inserting a pin into the aggressor's jugular vein, apparently something that was learned from her advanced training.
Well, I mean, if I'm ever out
So,
taking media notes and fall on my pen, you know what happened.
in the same document, it does say that the petitioner is a deputy prosecuting attorney in Elkhart County, Indiana, and has been a deputy prosecuting attorney in Elkhart County for over 10 years. Petitioner has made statements. Again, the petitioner is a deputy prosecuting attorney for Elkhart County. Petitioner has made statements in the past that he would be able to sway court's decisions in this county.
In the past. Now, was that like when they were practicing these derriere games? Like, is that like a game they were playing with Curtis Hill up at the office? Because, you know, it's a pattern of abuse or practices. That's what I'm looking at, is a pattern of abuse or practices.
Mm-hmm.
That's my question. I'm also looking for a pattern of abuse or practices when it comes to this guy's attorney in this case. Is it a pattern of abuse or practice to defend this type of individual all the way and up to the Supreme Court in this case and set him in your courtroom and not put an asterisk by his name and your name in every legal case that you oversee due to the conflicts of
Now you
interest?
guys
This
see.
is a highly personal nature, a highly personal relationship regarding possible government secrets of the employed here. We got a prosecutor and apparently someone that works for the National Security Administration or Homeland Security, whatever it is. But you would not acknowledge that there's a conflict there. And you would continue and further your malfeasance to jeopardize every single criminal case in this county. And we haven't even mentioned Vicky Becker yet. What the fuck are you doing, girl?
Yeah, that's a ways down the road yet. Like we're one step at a time, right? I'm showing
I
them
mean,
the
just
screenshots on now.
pull up the Reggie Dillard case. Show them a little bit what in there, what's going on in this. You want to see the corruption. These guys are suffering. We just revealed. You can read the appendix. You guys can share it to your family members. You can actually send it to your constituents and your senators, your attorney general. You can send it at this point to the Department of National Intelligence. All right, HSI, because that's where it needs to go. We're gonna move on. We got people that are still locked up, innocent, suffering. They're in a prison, and potentially, you know, they're putting it on the media that these people are having electrical issues in their cells. We want them out of there before they never get a chance to have their voice heard. There's people out there that don't have a voice, that need a voice, and they need to come home.
So
So
I got this. We went on Justia and we found this case that has to do with Iris Siebold, Reginald Dillard, Leon Tyson, and Pink Allen Robinson. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just let the screen reader do it for us. Okay.
well, why don't you go to the Notre Dame one? That one's going to take too long and cover too many cases, bub. I'd go to the Notre Dame one. It's quicker.
All right.
And yeah, the Notre
Here we go.
Dame one's a lot quicker and it concisely gets to the
We'll
point.
read this one for you guys.
Yeah.
We'll let it read it.
Okay. Remember to click your volume on thing.
Yep. Are we sharing it? You guys hear it?
No. It's not playing. It's not up on the screen.
That wasn't playing just now?
No, there's something else on the
Oh.
screen.
All right, hold on. All right, my bad.
You're right.
Been having technical difficulties, guys. I'm in a bad area for one. It should be.
Hey,
All right. We'll do it all over again. We'll start over. One, guys. All right. How about now?
no. It's the Notre
Nobody can hear
Dame.
that?
No, it's.
That's what
I
I
don't
got up
remember.
there.
The Notre Dame one wasn't on an audio. It's a PDF file. You could probably have it read aloud if you do it from that page, but it's not really that big of a deal.
Notre Dame was the. Can you guys see it?
There's no reason to pull it up. I can tell you about it. All right. Now Reggie Dillard was, well, we need to read this. I don't want to misquote anything that's on there, man. I just don't.
Yeah. Let me try it again here and make sure this is working.
I'm not going to misquote anything or put anything out there that's not.
Absolutely.
Legit.
Let's try it again. See if this is.
It's not even showing what you're trying to show.
Notre Dame Exoneration Justice Clinic client Reggie Dillard exonerated after 27 years of wrongful imprisonment. Published February 24, 2026.
Was that being heard?
Yeah, but it's not up on the screen. You got something totally different on the screen than what you're trying to present to people. So it needs what you're trying to show.
Justice.
Yeah, but what's on the screen is not that. Okay, you can go. Yeah, I'd let it read from there then, because you got to. I see it now, the black screen. My bad. Dark background.
You good?
Author Ariane Kalingo. Reggie Dillard, a client of Notre Dame Law School's Exoneration Justice Clinic, is pictured with members of the clinic shortly after his release. Reggie Dillard, a client of the Notre Dame Law School Exoneration Justice Clinic (EJC), was exonerated on Monday, February 23, after spending 27 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. Dillard was convicted of murder in 2000 based on the 1998 shooting of Christopher Thomas in Elkhart, Indiana, and was sentenced to 65 years in prison. A special prosecutor, Marshall County elected prosecutor Nelson Chipman, agreed to vacate Dillard's conviction on Thursday, February 19, and Judge Christopher Spataro signed the order dismissing the criminal charges, officially exonerating Dillard. The EJC filed a petition for post-conviction relief on Dillard's behalf in Elkhart County Superior Court in July 2022. Extensive litigation followed, including proceedings before the Indiana Supreme Court in which the clinic requested the assignment of an impartial judge. After a special judge and a special prosecutor were appointed, the court held a two-day evidentiary hearing that began last Wednesday, February 18, and concluded on Thursday, February 19. Reggie Dillard is pictured with members of the Notre Dame Law School Exoneration Justice Clinic following the evidentiary hearing. The EJC presented new evidence at the evidentiary hearing last week. Following the close of evidence, the special prosecutor concluded that Dillard's constitutional rights under Brady v. Maryland had been violated through the withholding of material exculpatory evidence and agreed that his conviction should be vacated. The court entered an order vacating Dillard's murder conviction, and the following morning, the state moved to dismiss the charges, acknowledging that the evidence did not support retrying the case. The petition for post-conviction relief filed in 2022 alleged serious misconduct in the investigation and prosecution of the case. Dillard asserted that former Elkhart Police Department Detective Stephen Rizutko fabricated witness statements and maintained an undisclosed sexual relationship with a key witness against Dillard. Following an internal affairs investigation, the Elkhart Police Department found that Rizutko engaged in improper sexual conduct with informants in criminal cases, but this information was not disclosed to defendants, including Dillard, for decades. Dillard also alleged that exculpatory and impeachment evidence was withheld, including benefits provided to key witnesses and compelling evidence implicating two other men in Thomas's murder. Reggie Dillard walks out of prison following his exoneration. In a message to the entire EJC team on the morning of Dillard's release, Professor Jimmy Gurule, founder and director of Notre Dame Law School's Exoneration Justice Clinic, wrote, "As you know, last Thursday, following a two-day evidentiary hearing, Judge Christopher Spataro vacated Reginald Dillard's 2000 wrongful murder conviction. This morning Judge Spataro dismissed the criminal charges against Reggie with prejudice and ordered his immediate release from custody. As the result of the hard work of many of our clinic students, past and present, Reggie has been officially exonerated. Later today, Reggie will regain his freedom and be reunited with his family and friends." Immediately after his release, Dillard spoke to members of the EJC who gathered outside the prison to welcome him home, offering a heartfelt message of gratitude and hope. Reggie Dillard speaks to members of the Notre Dame Law School Exoneration Justice Clinic immediately following his release from prison. "Thank you. I've got a lot of people that care for me," Dillard said. "There was a time when I was the voiceless, and now I've become a voice for the voiceless, and I plan on being that voice." EJC staff attorney Kevin Murphy emphasized the broader significance of the exoneration while speaking with Dillard and members of the clinic team outside the prison. "It's a day that we also must take to look at this Elkhart criminal justice system and make it better and take a step forward," said Murphy. "Reggie's freedom and Reggie's exoneration today is a huge step along that path. It never would have been possible without so many, especially Elliot Slosser, Reggie's lead attorney, Professor Jimmy Gurule with the Exoneration Justice Clinic, and so many Notre Dame law students who fought to help this evidence come to light and help Reggie be free." Murphy also addressed Dillard directly. "Reggie, today is your day. This is your story, this is your life. You get to write the ending to it." Reggie Dillard is reunited with his fiancée, daughter, and son during a lunch with the EJC team after his release from prison. Dillard's case has been one of the clinic's longest-running matters. Even before the clinic was formally established, Slosser and some volunteer students had been working on Dillard's case as early as 2018. Several EJC students played crucial roles in the evidentiary hearing. Third-year law student Andrew Zimlick presented a key piece of evidence that contributed to Dillard's exoneration. "It has been an honor and a blessing to play a part in Reggie's exoneration effort," said Zimlick. "This victory speaks to the hard work of the many students and attorneys who poured their energy and passion into doing justice no matter the obstacles. I will forever be inspired by the incredible grace and resilience that Reggie showed in the face of unimaginable hardship, and I have no doubt that he will go on to inspire countless others." Third-year law student Albert Kwan also presented evidence in the case. "After almost 3 decades, Reginald Dillard finally walks free," said Kwan. "It was my honor to contribute to that effort, and his exoneration is a testament to the power of hard work and hope. This result is also a reminder of why the EJC continues to inspire its mission to correct injustice even in the most difficult, long-fought cases." Reggie Dillard and EJC staff attorney Kevin Murphy embrace following Dillard's release from prison. Gurule praised the clinic team that investigated and litigated the case, including Murphy, staff attorney Lenora Popken, legal staff assistant Ann Peterson, and adjunct Professor Slosser. He also acknowledged that, along with Zimlick and Kwan, several other clinic students contributed to Dillard's exoneration. Dillard's exoneration is the EJC's fourth exoneration, after the exonerations of Kara Beatty in April 2025, Anthony Bedolla in August 2024, and Andy Royer in July 2021. Notably, it is the EJC's third straight exoneration that was achieved with the agreement of the prosecutors on the case. Since its founding, the EJC has remained committed to criminal justice reform, litigating wrongful conviction cases, and educating the public about miscarriages of justice.
All right.
Well,
So
there you go.
if you have been a victim of the cabal in Elkhart County, Indiana, there's several factions of it. You need to contact the Notre Dame Exoneration Justice Clinic or your family members and reach out to these students that are, you got to remember this. The Elkhart Police Department has a billboard up by Notre Dame. They want officers, but they also have an exoneration justice clinic cleaning up their mess. And all of these students are studying law at that University of Notre Dame in this exoneration justice clinic to help more people. And if anybody's not told them, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And it's up to us to be a voice for the voiceless as well. We have much
Honestly,
more ability
we
out
have
here than
we
they do.
have we have too much corruption going on. They're putting it right in our face. They gripe about me or you making a YouTube video. They put it right in front of our face. What you want to show this other case, right? Where it leads in. See, here I want to get back on where we were talking because my thoughts of it is look how long it takes people to look at a case and get help where help's needed, and the people aren't getting closure. These guys are getting excited because an attorney took their case. They're not coming home. They're still suffering. Now we have documents that are coming out. I don't know if they're coming out because it's been so many years and they're released and not redacted or what's going on, but there's other documents and they're pouring out, and they're pouring out like a sieve. I think it's purposeful. People are done with it. I've grown to know and be taught to respect my elders and the leadership, even in my community. But I've grown to learn through experience myself through these guardian ad litems and through these family and children courts as a kid, what they're used for and what their intended purpose is, and how they mix up words and twist words and manipulate the system. And I think a lot of this that was going on back then, you had prosecutors building their careers on fake cases that are unsolved. One now, her whole career is basically a bunch of fake cases that are tainted. They received government grants for this high crime rate that doesn't match the population of our area. They've received funding, so they've defrauded our government for sure. They've defrauded us as taxpayers, and they are continuing to defraud us as taxpayers because of the note that's going to have to be paid to all these people that are innocent. And they're not holding themselves accountable. They'll prop themselves up in leadership positions on boards of directors and in our community all the way up to Notre Dame, the University of Notre Dame. But they will not call each other out for their transgressions. So that leads me to believe that they may be culpable with one another, or they're unable to speak out because of the powers that be. Either way, it's defrauding our government through and through. It's a cancer upon us, and it needs to stop because they victimized women, children. That's it. I mean, it's what they're doing. They're continuing to do it. And in this next case we're going to present to you that's ongoing now, they tolerate what the prosecutor did, but look what the lengths they go to ruin of a woman's life.
Talking about rats. Famously. Hello.
Yeah, rats is one, but it's the Franklin one. Just remember, you have a right to gather information about public officials continuously. It's a cardinal function of your First Amendment right.
Is this the one 3 through 11 or the other one?
Yep, that's 3 through 11. That'll be the last one we read.
All right, here we go, guys.
In July, Ms. Roth submitted to Judge Bonfiglio her report and recommendations on custody id. 10. Ms. Roth didn't meet with Ms. Franklin, Mr. Pfeiffer, or the child beforehand id. On July 20, 2023, Judge another id. The hearing was 18 minutes, about either side of id. Judge awarded Pfeiffer the on process report without evidence. Franklin scheduled an appointment with Dr. Sibbett, received drug screening results, and was previously evaluated by our licensed id. 10 to 11. Franklin says she complied with the court's drug screening requirement id. 10 to 11. She alleges, however, Mr. Pfeiffer's attorney, Thomas Stipp, contacted the drug screening staff there to not submit results to the court. Later, Mr.
Hey, Midwest, pause it a minute.
Yes, sir.
Id.
I don't know what it's doing. It don't want to. It's just pixelating. It don't even sound like it's. You know what I mean?
Else having issues with this? Anybody hearing it okay? Or
Yeah,
put in one in the chat if you're hearing it okay.
I can go over this case a lot easier than letting that do it. I can just tell you what's going on. Okay. The judge is immune. A judge is immune, you guys. Most of them are immune in all the things that they're doing right now. And maybe that's why they run for judge, so it covers up all the stuff that they did before. I don't know, but they're immune. The guardian ad litem acting in her professional capacity, I'm not too sure of, depending on what she did. But DCFS is a Department of State. They're immune. They get the slide. DCFS was proven in Indiana to be unsafe and defunct. There's rulings on that. They took this woman through the cleaners. Her apparently it was a family dispute turned into custody dispute. You go down, you can pay an attorney in Elkhart good money and probably get what you want. They'll sacrifice a couple of people through the public defender's office to get a little bit of deals going, and those guys will go up the river and you'll get a deal to go on house arrest and pay them $200 every week until you violate, and they'll put your ass in jail too. That's how it works. Money talks, bullshit walks around here. It's worked like that for a long time. And the courts were manipulated in these cases, which led to other women coming out and coming forward. There's news articles on it. You can play news videos on it, all kinds of stuff. The guardian ad litem was lying in the reports, not meeting with kids, not doing things, just writing reports at will. She's been doing it for years. And then they got a doctor that goes right along with it. They want you to see their doctor. They don't want an independent doctor. They want you to see their doctor because the deck's stacked against you, like the victim at the prosecutor's house. That's exactly what goes on in these courts. It's a continued pattern or practice of systemic corruption or abuse. It's a pattern or practice. And it continues. Now, the things that perk my ears up to it is when I'm a YouTuber, right? So I'm not like creating every day. Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube. Hit my like, subscribe. I'm not doing that every day. I put my content on YouTube to get an answer for the people that are wrongfully convicted and don't have a voice. All right? I don't want nothing out of it. I want them home. I experienced it myself. It's not about me, it's about them. It's about where you live, what you've experienced, what you see, and what others don't. So when I'm on YouTube and videos are recommended, right. So when I'm on YouTube and videos are recommended to me to watch about my area, I watch them, especially when it's history. Kind of tells you a lot. And then lo and behold, of all the places you could be in Elkhart, Indiana, on Harrison Street, next to the only liquor store that's open till 3 o'clock in the morning. Usually there's like two old retired cops. It's, the history of knowledge is two cops worked in there, or ex-cops or whatever. It's the ghetto liquor store on Harrison Street, and it's got a club by it, apparently. And they brag about this club, but this channel that brags about this club has county commissioners. Well, he may have passed, but the county commissioners on there. They have the first like historic videos of the courthouse on there. They have the bell from the courthouse on there. They have Irv Polk, who was part of Lifeline out of Elkhart. Lifeline.
We're gonna play bits and pieces of some of these videos too, guys.
So a lot of this stuff is like, hold on here. These are, pillars in the community. And you mean to tell me that we have Cristofino, Spataro, you got Lucchese as your county commissioner, you got Rodino used to be your, and then you've got Cataldo, Bonfiglio, 6 or 7 that they're all part of the same club. And I've grown to know a lot of these people that, hold on, you don't, what you portray when you employ your employees, you don't portray yourself as this type of person that would condone this. But maybe you do, because now there's employees and certain employers of these people that affiliate and rub shoulders. Their employees are disgruntled. They're being mistreated, talked down upon, treated like crap at work, underpaid, overworked, cheap labor, illegal labor. There's a lot coming out in all this because of what you guys did to your community. You took advantage of your community and then you made a mockery of it, thinking that people weren't smart enough to figure it out. But hopefully there's some good people. And I think there are. I think there are. And I think there are even in their community. More than we think there are. There's got to be. But just show it. Like, I don't think people realize how intertwined these people are.
Now, remember some of these names from some of these court documents that we showed you and we've had read to you. Pay attention and see if you notice any familiar names.
It's their own words.
Bits and pieces. This is not us talking.
They're telling us who they are.
We'll just play it here. Irv Polk, Wisdom, from Larry and Bristol. Shout out to Larry and Bristol. Thanks for we appreciate the information.
Yeah, thanks for being the keeper of all the records.
Yeah, here we go.
It ain't up there, Midwest.
Oh, shit.
At all.
Hold on. I screwed up. I forgot to.
You got to pull it up in that other tab. You're all right.
My bad, guys. Which one is it? It's this one.
You said why nobody watches your YouTube channel.
Yeah. No one watches your YouTube, asshole. Oh, wait. I got that somewhere. No, we'll get that later.
My full name is Irvin James Polk. And then at the end of my 7th grade, I moved to Elkhart. Mom and Dad were assigned to church just a half a block from Lifeline. As I look back on that now, I'm thinking, wow, God had his hand on me then. He knew exactly where I was going to spend 46 years of my life. But after I graduated from Taylor, finally, in 1961, that's when I came back to Elkhart, because Elkhart was the town that I liked the best of all the towns that we had lived in as I was growing up. I loved the little church that Mom and Dad pastored. Dad's funeral was at that church. I met my wife at that church. We got married at that church. And so this has just sort of been my little neighborhood for years. My church, my home, my work at Lifeline, and where my wife taught were all within a 2 or 3 block radius here. It was a real struggle for me to find my place in life. It was probably 10 of the most depressing discouraging years of my life. So in September of 63 is when I quit my job at Excel and began working with Lifeline. So that was how I got my beginning. And like I say, it was a rough 10 to 12 years, but God knew that I was not mature enough to start when I thought maybe I should. Well, my wonderful wife, she's a gem, but I met her at our little church just up the street here. She wasn't a Christian then. She had never heard of Taylor University. She grew up in Indianapolis. She accepted Christ at Taylor, and now she claims Taylor as her college. But that's how I met my wife one Sunday at church. She was sitting on one side and I was sitting on the other. And a couple of years later, we got married in 1965. How did I stick with my job for 46 years? People often ask me that question. And it's a very simple answer. It's because God put me there. Well, I think obedience to God is the key to happiness. It reminds me of my favorite hymn, which is trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. We can be obedient and trust him in any vocation that we're in. Especially since I've had my pancreatic cancer, kids have come out of the woodwork. I hear from lots and lots and lots of kids. They stop by, they write me notes, they call. Seldom a day goes by where I don't have 2 or 3 former Lifeline kids just stop in to see how I'm doing and see how things are going and see if there's anything they can do. This is sort of an alumni place for a lot of the kids. A lot of the kids don't make it through high school, but they've got this place to go back to. So the answer to people that want to know if I keep in touch with farmers, my answer is yes, even the ones in prison. And there's several of them that I'm still writing to that are in prison, and they write back. And so they often say, I wish I'd have listened when I was in Lifeline. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. But my words of wisdom to parents is to be involved in what their kids are doing. I don't think that the kids are a whole lot different now than they were 40 years ago. You know, I'm still doing the same thing here that I did in that old clubhouse. We come here, we have recreation time, we have our sit down time and talk about God and the Bible, and we have something to eat. I've been doing that same routine for 40 some years. But the kids' needs are still the same. They still need love. They need to feel safe. They just have a whole lot more to deal with. We used to say that the heart of the delinquency problem is the heart of the boy or the girl themselves. You know, we reach their heart for Christ, and we can see some change. And all the kids still have that need. Well, my greatest contribution or accomplishment would be to be able to share Jesus with the kids. That's just the bottom line. So my greatest accomplishment is just the opportunity that we have of sharing the gospel with these kids that are not probably ever going to hear it anywhere else. If I could get all the kids together that have gone through these doors, you could tell them one thing, it would just be to get their heart right with Jesus, because then I can see them again.
All right.
I thought a
That's
lot about that. Now that maybe my...
Yep, go ahead.
This is, we don't have to play all of it, but that's Irv Polk. It gives you the highlight of it. He's worried about the delinquent kids, right? You know, him and Mr. Lockhart were the leaders of Lifeline. Many kids in the community went to Lifeline, just as they went to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Goshen with Kevin Deering and Joe. There's a weird side to all of this, which is how the United Methodist Church gets intertwined in Basher homes. Not to mention, Irv Polk and Mr. Lockhart's wives, Mrs. Lockhart and Mrs. Polk, were learning disability teachers and emotionally handicapped teachers at Hawthorne School. Many of the troubled kids were bused to their classrooms, were taken to the after-school programs of Lifeline, ended up in Basher homes. Some kids had families, some kids didn't. Some kids had a voice, some kids didn't. Some kids ended up wrongfully convicted and have a voice, and some kids don't. I see a pattern of practice or abuse in their own words.
Mm-hmm.
Play the next video. Let's see where they all hang out and rub shoulders and tolerate this behavior.
Well, let's get some names involved, shall we?
Yeah, let's go. Cataldo, Cristofino, Constantino, Lucchese, Rodino, Bonfiglio. We can keep, tons. It's just to say a few. The sitting judges and officials, Cristofino, Bonfiglio, Cataldo, and Spataro.
I don't think that's the right video, is it?
No.
We need the picnic one. Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Hold on just a second, guys. My apologies. I got a lot of bouncing around here. Stop that. And then we'll present. Share screen.
When we get done presenting you guys all this, the main thing is, I know personally kids that I went to school with, they know me. I know kids personally that I was at probably Basher with or Morton House with. Even the ones from Hoosier Girls Home. We all kind of knew each other, back in those days, and experienced some of the same things. We're talking when these places were hands-on facilities, when they took notes and wrote down everything about the kids and made the kids address the other kids. And I'm ashamed to say, but there's a lot of lost souls, just like you heard Irv Polk say. I feel his heart was in it for the kids. He sent us to Kings Island, everywhere. But the thing is, I think that his organization has been manipulated by the family and children courts, unfortunately. And it's a system, that they've used over and over again, all the way up and through. Back then, it was Terry Poindexter in the probation department, Deborah Beeler. Mickey was the attorney for children, and the judge for the children was Bonfiglio, and Mona Biddlecombe was the prosecutor. George Biddlecombe, her husband, later they were both judges later. It takes you right back to Max Walker and all that brigade. It has not been a very good run for over 30 years. So that police officer asking why people want to go back 30 years, you should probably ask that to the people that are dealing with unsolved crimes that happen to their family, the people that are sitting in prison that are innocent, and people that have their records sealed by these ignorant tyrants. Let's talk about John Cawley. We can do that later in a discussion board, but all these connections, if you're in the same clubhouse and you're on the same videos and you're going to Davos, Switzerland, I'm paying attention. Okay? I'm paying attention.
Well, let's let them tell us in their own words who these people are, shall we?
Right. That's yeah. How they, yeah.
We just It's
What?
almost a 6-minute video here, guys. We'll just
So
let it
when
play.
you're buying beer on Harrison Street next time, just remember, because the next live we have, we're gonna be going on some. We have all the files that we're gonna go through, appeals files, and where these incidents were taking place in our neighborhoods, what
After this
officers were
video, we'll show you
involved.
some of the files.
Yep, there you go.
Here we go. Thumbs up if you can hear it.
L'acqua di La Fontana è amara, amara, caci non era amara, caci non era amara. In the 1950s, at the IARA Club, many families from Harrison Street and other parts of the city, all of them would gather at these picnics. The DCOs, the Del Prates, the Miniquilos, the Montaganos, the Ivanillios, the Yanarellis, the Manellis, the Marqueses, the Farrows, the Trecalos. Come si porta bene sta vignanella, così sarà la donna, così sarà la donna, come si porta bene. There were many people present, and all were having a good time, renewing old acquaintances and enjoying their kinship and relating to each other tales of where they'd been and what they had seen. The De Vitros, the Del Regnos, the Trovatores, the Rinaldis, the Patinellis, the Dedarios, the Campanellos, the Capolettis, the Batistas, the Antonellis, the Stratis, the Robertos, the Bibbos, the Balancios, the Serafinos, the Rodinos, and the Russos. E mamma m'è mandato agli zanguni, metti tu che stasera, metti tu che stasera, e mamma m'è mandato agli zanguni, metti tu che stasera, amore mia, son maccarroni, e come gira. Of course they had a good time. Many of them had come over and had settled in their homes in the early teens, 19 teens, or the early 1920s or 1930s. And they lived together. Their kids had grown up together, gone to school together, many of them to St. Vincent's, most of them to St. Vincent's. And so they had many things to talk about. The Luccheses, the Galassos, the Coscarellis, the Varanellis, the Michellis, the Palombos, the Arcaros, the Puglises, the Cataldos, the Visingardis, and the Recchios. By this time, in the early 1950s, many of the young men from these families had gone off to war and gone back to distant lands, some even to Italy, the land of their ancestors, and had fought there on behalf of the United States Army, and they were home. They were, of course, heroes at that picnic because they had served their country, the country that all of these people love so well. Among those that came later and stayed perhaps later were the Sansalones, the Bonfiglios, the Montaneros, the Campanellos, the Ursos, the Bergants, the Kekios, the Catapanos, the Fortinos, the Papas, the Antisdales, the Dentis, and the Spiritos. I wanna be in America in my life. I wanna in America by my side. I wanna in a reader all I need. I wanna in a cedar but I see. I let it in the center in the south. I wanna be in America, my lord. I wanna in a Jessica you are in. I wanna be in you mess to your name.
All right. Did we lose you?
Nope, I'm here.
All right. So, not accusing everyone in that club or in that heritage or history. I know there's people involved in that don't tolerate the behavior that comes out of the associates that try to run under and ride on the coattails of others. But one thing we don't appreciate is the business structure next door to all these people that love our kids and want the best for our kids. We're tired of them victimizing our kids and our families and our people. But one thing you can do is quit selling our kids alcohol out of your door right beside where your clubhouse is.
Where there's an interior door connecting them.
Quit. The jig is up. The news is out. Quit. Quit treating your workers like shit in your restaurants. And your dirt won't pour out. Quit taking over all these corporations and trying to consolidate them and putting nefarious people up in the CEO positions of these companies, big ones, that have nefarious family members in other courts and practices and law firms. Quit. We got all your paperwork. We're just getting started. We're going to have to go live again because we got other stuff that we got to talk about, but we're just going to have more fun with it.
Well, we'll just give you a little taste. For those that may doubt.
Do you have the documents of that where the excise police went in there?
I don't know if I have that.
Because I mean, the connections that I'll talk to about it a little bit to elaborate. You got a liquor store at Siciliano's, you guys. Like, do you understand how many appeals have came back of your current sitting acting chief of police in Elkhart, Andrew Whitmire? Do you understand how much these entities are being used inside of your government for the furtherance of the DEA and ICE and drug enforcement agents? They call it ICE here. It's not the immigration, it's different. But why is it the same places? Do you know who the biggest slumlord of this neighborhood that's the most dilapidated? They're the most proud of this neighborhood, but it's the most dilapidated and crime-riddled, infested area. All the way and up to cockroaches, bed bugs, you name it. And they're proud of that area. It's like they're stomping grounds for every case they have. You can watch them drive right from the police department down to the end of the street at Main Street, jog over to Marion Street, and 2 blocks down, they are right here in this area that's their honey hole for crime, homelessness, people laid out in our streets, strung out. Why does it keep happening? Your best friend runs the faith mission. It's like a system of practice or abuse. Wouldn't you say, Midwest?
I was, yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to point out that what you guys are seeing on the screen is documented proof This is just one folder of one server of information that we're
And
showing
there's
you.
7 or 8 servers.
I was
And then
scrolling for like 5 minutes and couldn't even get to the top of it. I got about halfway
I
through it.
scrolled all day and you can't get to the bottom of it.
So this just goes to show you that when people say they have it all, well, I can't say when people. When Famously and myself tell you that we have it all, look at the screen. Do you think we're bullshitting? Pardon my French.
I don't watch
Do you,
FBI files and cold case files and cops and live PD. I read it. I don't have to. I can read it. But we have something that is awesome, which is called AI, and the ability to put a PDF file into a program and bring a video out of that PDF file to you. And I think that's where it starts. We need to start. They don't want to go back 30 years, so we need to start bringing mini episodes of every single transgression there is, every single PDF file that comes out. We need to make videos of. Everybody can do this in your own communities. It is the only way to bring it. They weren't going to tell us about this. Do you think that they were going to tell us about this prosecutor at all, willingly? But he admitted knowingly, willingly, and wittingly. They admitted to the activities, not us. In their own words, they told their neighbors potential secrets they shouldn't be telling their neighbors.
so again,
But they
we have all
won't. They
kinds of
won't.
information.
If they'll do this to their children and call their own children a liar, they'll do anything to me or you. And that's
The,
all I got to say.
the deputy prosecutor was taking baths with his daughter. They were taking family-oriented baths, they called it, with their daughter.
The game they play, slapping the rear.
This guy was having his daughter slap his naked behind and calling it a game, a harmless
And
game.
he puts his suit and tie on, walks into the courtroom, and he's going to ridicule you and represent the state of Indiana in the best interest of what? Wasn't there a case that he had a mother that shook her baby to death and that he just said, okay, I'll take a plea bargain with you of neglect?
Where she admitted to what she did, and they still gave her a plea bargain.
So I'm getting from all of this in a pattern, a system, or practice of pattern or abuse. The Supreme Court don't even like the kids. They sided with the doctor. They weren't even smart enough to say, hold on, wait a minute. Highly trained and intellectual individuals aren't smart enough to realize that this is
So
what
the Superior Court of Indiana said this, guys. A father admitting in court documents
ethically, morally,
bathed.
ethics. I mean, ethics commission, please, where you at?
Where is anybody in a position of authority or power
Why?
to do something about this shit?
Who were the justices that
We should probably reserve this for discussion.
Rudy Yakum, we need to talk. Bring Cash Patel with you and all the other guys. There's some shit going on.
Yeah, we're gonna have a live a little bit later too, where we'll actually talk with you guys, take questions. If anybody in the community of Elkhart or surrounding area has a story to tell,
Yep,
we got you. You don't have to have social media. We'll be on a different program, so look for either one of our channels. Subscribe. We'll have another program. You don't have to have a social media, but you will be verified in the background. We can't just let anybody up, but if you want to stay anonymous or don't want your face shown, that's fine. We'll do that. But
Because
if you
no
have a
one,
story to tell,
because
everybody
no
needs
one
a voice.
watches. No one watches, you guys. No one. Ask them. They'll tell you.
The information is still scrolling down the screen, guys, of everything that we have. This is not. This is just beginning.
Oh, stuff. I
You
didn't mean
guys
to
have no.
send. I didn't mean to send that to everybody, but everybody needed it.
So, sorry if we haven't been interacting with you guys. But this was put out for a very specific purpose of getting some information out there, and hopefully everybody will share this to everybody and hopefully we can get some justice for the people that are sitting locked up that don't have a voice.
That's absolutely right.
Do it for them. This ain't about me. This isn't about famously. This is
Nope.
about those people that are still locked up.
Nope.
Or that
Don't
lost
bring a
loved ones
dollar.
that
Do
don't have
not
any
bring a.
answers.
Do not bring a dollar to my channel. You take it
Nothing.
and you look up the Notre Dame Exoneration Justice Clinic and you send it there. I don't want it.
We're not taking donations for this. It's not the purpose of this.
I don't.
Purpose
Or
of
the
this is
Innocence
getting
Project. The Innocence Project.
correct.
Or the University of Michigan. I mean, there's a bunch of them. Find your nearest Innocence Project and give them the help they need. Ask them what they may need. They might need people out here researching. You never know. You never know. They might need somebody that's willing to do a little bit of that. You never know.
Just look at the information scrolling on the screen, guys. Just look at the information.
That's him. 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 That's him.
That's her. That's us.
That's
That's her.
them. That's her. That's her. That's her. That's him. That's him. Her. Them. That's them. That's them. That's him. That's them. That's there. That's there. That's them. Oh. I don't know.
Him.
He is. That's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. Oh, that's him. And him 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 and him
We're doing this, guys, and it's just getting started. We're not going away. We're not suicidal,
Nah,
and we're doing this for the people inside.
that's right.
So
Do the right thing. Quit doing dirt out here in this community, man. Every time you public officials do something dirty, you're giving me a video. And then I got to hear you cry about it. Well, you guys are doxing us. No, I didn't dox you. Everything that I found is on the internet. Somebody else put it there for us. I mean, that's on you. The onus is on you to go contact Google and figure out what you're going to do about all your information. But there ain't nothing you can do about it when it's public information and when it's in the PDF files. And I can't help it that people know how to look up a little bit more stuff than what you do. But maybe the people that are working along the side of these people don't want to work alongside somebody like that.
anybody interested in learning more or learning how you can help, you can contact one of us.
Yep.
We'll help you help them. It's because that's them. It's the ones inside that don't have the voice.
That's
And
him.
this shit right here is the reason a lot of these people are locked up and don't have a voice. So
I mean,
it's up to us. There's nobody else that's going to help.
I mean, you got people that are protecting public officials that treat their kids horrible, and they'll send a prosecutor over from their office to represent the state in the best interest of your child. But they won't represent that child in the best interest because it's the state. But I don't care what nobody. You raise your children around that environment, that's your fault.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This,
Yeah,
that we're
I'm
going to
done.
cover eventually.
The Supreme Court, the doctor, and the parents.
So one of the judges that oversees a lot of these child cases is doing victim shaming.
They'll come to your house for the stupidest. People can call and lie on you, and they will come to your house for the stupidest things. But just to cover 2 government officials' rear end and a family children, and you'd used our courts to do this. You thought you were going to come into our court. These are our courtrooms. They ain't your courtrooms. You don't own that shit. That's our paperwork you're printing this shit on. That's our shit. Try to debo us. Come over here and debo us. You got me feeling some kind of way. I'm dealing with Leonardo stealing our election in Italy, and now I'm over here dealing with Michelangelo, and I'm looking for Leonardo, and I'm looking for Donatello and Raphael now. I think I might find them over there. South Bend,
No.
hanging around Notre
Well-
Dame somewhere, mooching, riding coattails, and taking advantage of the people.
Well, we're glad we got Master Splinter feeding us information, though.
Oh, Master Splinter's the greatest.
Master Splinter, we thank you. Thank you for the information. And
Wait
all
till
the
they find
cops
out.
there,
Wait till
all the
wait till
cops
they
all the cops in Elkhart that are helping us, feeding us information. Thank you.
wait till they find out we got Shredder to turn on all of his foot bots.
Thank you to all those anonymous sources that are helping, especially
And Larry
those
and
in
Bristol, the historian Larry and Bristol. Thank you,
Man,
thank
you unnamed officers in Elkhart. Thank you.
you. Unnamed.
Yep.
I love it. All
You
right, but yeah.
unnamed officers,
So
we love
anyways,
you. Thank you.
we'll get you guys some more panels up and stuff. That way nobody else can watch. And you guys get this information out there. Call your public officials. Do what you need to do to redress these issues. We'll be getting it to the right people. We'll be getting it to the right people.
We've
got to
already started.
share. Yep. We haven't even got the X yet or nothing. So
Just wait.
don't worry.
Like I said, we're just getting started, people.
And
Please.
to anyone in the community or in YouTube world, or I don't care if you're on Twitch and Rumble, feel free. Feel free. Get it out there.
There's 3 PDFs that are in the description as well. You feel free to share them. That's public information, publicly available.
Well, there's a
Read
bunch of
through it.
PDFs. There's a bunch of PDFs in our government. And,
Yes, but these are PDF files that you can click and read court cases about these PDFs, these victimizers, these sick SOBs that are victimizing our children, and then they get to adult court and they victimize them some more.
I'm just waiting to hear the people that cry about it. I can't believe you would post videos about this stuff. Well, I can't believe you'd stand here and protect that shit.
I can't believe you'd keep your mouth quiet and not say something about these weird.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Bullshit. Yep. So all the times that they're standing around, oh, we're waiting. Some people are just scared because they want their pension. No, that's what these people that's been doing it for 30 years that are still in office are trying to get you to believe. And they're pounding this in your head, so you're going out in the streets and repeating it. But in reality, the people that have already been there 30 years are going to get their pension. And when they leave and you follow in their footprints, they're going to shit on your parade because you're the one in public office that has to deal with the publicity of all these wrongful convictions coming back during that tenure that ain't even here yet. Your officers that are coming in here that want to be hired from the Notre Dame billboard that want to come here are going to be shocked to learn how shitty this place is.
Does anybody wonder or question why that police chief said he didn't want to go back 30 years?
I'll tell you why he wanted. You want to know why?
We just showed you some of it.
You want to know why you don't want to go back 30 years? Because he's culpable in it. He started off in juvenile detention centers, baby. He didn't want to go. He won't never talk to me. He will never talk to me. They don't even know what they. You know what's crazy about it, Midwest? They don't even know what they did to me because they don't have records. So that's how you know when you start reading your own and you start seeing the discrepancies, and then you start putting 2 and 2 together. It ain't about
that's another thing.
About these
that's
other
another
people,
thing,
dude.
Elkhart. You may not have the records. We do.
Oh yeah, we got the records. Everybody's got the records.
You don't have Famous Lee's records? We got them.
Yep.
Thanks,
I got
Elkhart Police Department, unnamed police officers.
Yep.
Thank you. So with that being said, you guys, is there anything else you want to cover on this one? Or is this
No. Let me get off here and let these people share this, have their ear back, and get back. Hey, go over that UFC fight you guys is on right now. Have a good night. Maybe we'll go live later and we'll talk to you later. Thank you guys. Get the word out. And make sure that you put a call in to your constituents because we need these people home. That's the main thing. We
gotta
need
get
these people
innocent
home.
people home.
You have a right to call up there and be concerned. If you call up there, hey, look, I don't want this guy representing the state. That's not what I intend for my state to be represented with. You're taking other cases, high profile cases, come back on appeal for these kinds of things, and they're careless.
You have the right to redress your grievances. And we what you guys have seen, you have a right to redress that. Make use of it. If you don't flex
That's
your
right.
freedoms, you lose them, just like muscles. That being said, guys, stay tuned. We might go later. We'll get everybody involved. We'll have a discussion. We'll get a little bit wilder or more free, I will say. I'm trying to keep it a little bit professional on this one, so we have a record that can be used. So, anything else, famously?
All of the records belong to us.
We've got them all. Much love, peace, and bacon grease, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All of the files belong to us.
We've got them.